Welcome everybody. Thank you for joining for today's training. We are today talking about the AVPro Edge's Dante encoding and decoding solutions. We are going to be covering three products today. The SKUs are below on your slide here, AC Dante E, AC Dante D, and the MXnet 1G Dante encoder as well. So these are the products that we are going to go over with you today. But before we get started here, my name is Tom Devine. I'm going to be your trainer here on today's product training. Before we jump right into it, I do want to just let you know that if you're watching on GoToWebinar, you can put your questions right into the GoToWebinar questions tab, and then I can answer it live here as we're going through the training, so you can get all your answers right away. If you are watching later on YouTube, no problem. I monitor that as well, and you can just put it right in the comments, and I can help you that way as well. We're going to be talking about these three products. I'm going to be going through this presentation where we can take an up-close look. But I do want to separate this a little bit. Is two of the main products that we're talking about today are audio-only products. AVPro Edge is known for its video distribution solutions, but we're also audio-video distribution solutions. And now this is just our audio solutions as we're expanding that line. This is for the Dante unit, so we're going to be talking about how the Dante network comes together, what is Dante, and how you're able to control and manipulate our products alongside other Dante products with the Dante controller at all a very high level, allowing you to get into it yourself on your own time and giving you the tools on how to learn that information. So I'm going to start sharing my presentation from here. Let me know if you can't hear me, if you can't see the presentation, anything like that. I definitely want to know. So I'm going to turn my screen on, and first we're going to go back one slide before we started off here. So I want to start thinking about a couple scenarios. You have a 2-channel audio source, and you would like it to add it to a Dante audio network. So think of all the different types of audio sources. This could be a music player. This could be something that connects to Spotify. This could be a microphone. This could be any sort of device that has an audio signal in a 2-channel way. You can plug this into an encoder and get it onto the Dante network. And we're going to talk about the solution for that. Another scenario is you have a great 2-channel system, but you have a need to put that system onto the Dante network. So you already have great speakers and amplifiers, but you want to take some Dante audio and add it to that system. Well, we're going to go over that. And this is only 2 scenarios of literally thousands of scenarios that you guys can come up with where you'd be able to use these products. And these are those 3 products that we're talking about here. So if you kind of follow my mouse here, you'll see this is our first encoder. This is what's going to take in the audio. We have our decoder. This is going to, give the audio out after it has been sent through a network connection. And then we also have this unit. This is going to be the Dante encoder added into our MXnet 1G encoder. So these are the 3 solutions that we're going to be talking about today. So first, let's start out with what is Dante. Dante is a network protocol, and it's a name brand network protocol, right? It's Dante. This is a company Audinate put together this protocol for Dante, and it allows there to be a standard protocol, so that if I'm on the Dante standards and other manufacturers on the other standards, we can all work together and our products are interoperable. But what makes Dante useful and why people want to use it is that it is uncompressed. You have multi-channel digital audio, and it's all over this standard Ethernet. So it encodes audio for standard networking infrastructure. You have almost 0 latency, so you can still use this for live events and mission critical situations. And the best part about it is Dante has worked, Audinate and Dante have worked so hard to make it easy and simple to use and easy to control. And that's why integrators like it, and that's why installers like yourself are checking out this training. So let's go over the 3 solutions that we're going to talk about. The AC Dante encoder. This is that compact. It's a 2-channel analog stereo, and then it takes that analog stereo audio and it converts it to a Dante signal that we can then put on the network. After it's on the network, then we can connect it to this next product, which would be the AC Dante D, which is the decoder. And this connects to the network and it takes in any Dante signal, and then you're able to decode it. As you can see on here under the Dante D, it is a 100% lossless analog conversion. You have sampling rates from 44.1 kilohertz to as high as 96 kilohertz. And as you can see here, 16, 24, 32-bit word lengths. It's all the same with the encoder as well. So those are all, the encoder and the decoder are able to handle those same specifications. And then with the encoder, or with the MXnet 1G Dante encoder, this unit right here, this one is just this encoder, except we placed it into our MXnet 1G unit. So if you are familiar with AV over IP, this is a way to send audio video signals over the network, and AVPro Edge's solution is called MXnet. Our 1G solution has this Dante built in. If you're not familiar with MXnet, definitely check out that training, those different trainings, but we will go into the Dante section of this product. But basically what happens with this is that you will still need to connect two different cables to the network switch, one for your AV over IP connection, one for your Dante connection, and then what you can control them independently using your Dante on the Dante controller and your AV over IP on the through the normal ways that you would use your control system or the Mentor system. But what's really nice is that Dante sound is actually coming from the same HDMI signal that you plugged into your MXnet unit. And we'll go over that and look at some different diagrams. All right. So now we're just going to take a closer look at what these products look like. As you can see, these are simple units. So this isn't going to be some big in-depth technical training, because they are doing a very simple thing. They are converting two-channel audio to a Dante signal, or taking a Dante signal and converting that to two-channel audio. And so we're going to, as you can see, the encoder and the decoder are very, there's not a lot going on. And that makes it really easy for integrators to use, understand, for people to get on site, plug it in, and there's not a lot of configuration that you need to do at all. So you have your first port is going to be connecting to your internet or your networking connection. And then you can see your audio is going to go in the audio input here. We do have an audio loop out. So if you do need to loop out into a different local audio system, or you have any other need for that, you would have it here. And then we have this little USB-C port, which is just for power. Both of these units do need to be powered through this port. And so now you can see on our decoder, we have just a 5-pin Phoenix connector that comes with the connector, so you could connect your own audio system to it. This can now go into an amplifier, it can go into a preamp or a switcher, but you can manipulate that audio and connect it however you want through this customization piece. And here's your Dante port that's going to connect to the network and your power. Now, for your MXnet 1G unit, you can actually see that we have two ports. So you have your 1G connection port. This is what you would always have on any AV over IP encoder. But we also have a separate Dante port, and this is for your audio. So when you connect this box to your network, you actually do need two ports of your network switch available. This Dante is going to remove or take the two channels that comes in through your audio, your HDMI input. Now, if you do come in with more than two-channel audio, it does not downmix. So you do need to set your EDID or your audio source in some other way to send two-channel only, or mono. And we could come in through this HDMI, and then once whatever the audio video signal comes in through the HDMI, through this port, it will send that HDMI signal onto the AV over IP network. And then through the Dante, it will actually de-embed the audio and send that just over the Dante network, which would be separate. I have a couple questions that come in here, so we're going to just take a look at those really quick. Is the audio loop through buffered? It's going to, because there's no latency with Dante, you have it coming at the exact same time as it's coming going out to your Dante network. Thank you, Ron. All right. And I'm going to get over here now. We'll look at the next slide. All right, I have some other questions that it looks like are coming into here too. I'm curious why you would use RCA unbalanced connectors on the encoder. That is what this is our first jumping on point for Dante. So we will be releasing other Dante units throughout the next few years, this year and the years to come. This is our first jumping on point, and we have some customers that request this specifically for de-embedding off of audio source or audio video sources, and so that is why we went with the unbalanced RCA. But you will see other types going here in the future. And another question, will there be balance in and outs? Yes, this is all, like I said, our jumping off point for Dante. And so if we know that you guys want Dante and we can see that this is a line that can grow, we will be taking this same technology and then expanding it to all different types of audio ports and audio types that are more specific for the kind of jobs that you would be looking for unbalanced and different reasons like that. Great questions. And then question was, you recommend running MXnet and Dante audio through the same switch? I will get to that question, Jordan. We will look at a diagram, but the answer is definitely yes. Yes, so, just some other people looking for balance, and know that that is going to be coming, and I will be sending out the same place that you heard about this training. You'll get that notification when those products are ready as well. So let's just first get back into talking about these products and how they are interoperable. All three of these products that we're talking about today, they can work with speakers, soundboards, amps, recorders, countless other audio products that already handle a Dante signal and can be recognized by the Dante controller software. And if you add an AVPro Edge encoder, decoder, or the MXnet encoder into that same system with these products that are made by tons of other manufacturers, well, that's not a problem at all. That's exactly what the Dante network is for. And you would be able to use our products right alongside other products. And going even further, many products, but not all products that are Dante enabled, are also able to handle AES 67, which is another networking standard like Dante, but it's not a licensed one. It's not owned by anybody. Anybody can use it. And so you can actually use AVPro Edge's products for AES 67 networking as well, interchangeable just with a Dante. So just know that these products that we're putting out are going to go alongside a lot of other products that maybe you would want or have or already be using in a venue. And so now we're just looking at a very simple way that you would route this, right? We have our audio coming into our encoder. Our encoder is connected to a network switch. And then out of that network switch, maybe that we are showing one zone, but this could be lots of different zones that are connected to this switch. And it has a decoder that is being amplified going onto speakers. And so we can play the streaming media player throughout any of the amplifiers that have a built-in decoder connected to all of these different ports. This is to the same end, showing the decoder. Here's your, you have your audio coming in. Now we can go to our decoder, showing how this works. You do have to power these units, and so ensure you have that power available. But then we can go into an amplifier and into speakers. And this is when you would work these two units together, right? Taking this diagram and putting it side by side, where you actually are encoding with our encoder and decoding with our decoder throughout. This is showing one zone, but it could be many zones, and you could have many sources connected here in the rack. And then we're getting into the Dante controller. This Dante controller is really what makes Dante so nice, so easy to use, and becomes your best friend. So what we have is a system that is to no cost to you. When you're setting up Dante, you can control, view, manipulate everything that is on this Dante network, and you do that with a Dante controller. So it's an application that allows you to view all the Dante devices. And then the AVPro Edge products that we have here, they're automatically detected through this Dante controller. And you might be saying, how how am I going to get to these Dante controllers? And I'm just going to pull up here. You can see I'm on the Audinate website here, but I've signed in. You can get your own login, and you can just get the Dante controller, so you can download it right here. What I can do then is I can, go into my applications. I'm able then to open up the Dante controller, connect it to any Dante network, and get and be able to see all these devices. Dante also has great training, so if you are wanting to get set up with Dante, you can do that right from this same website. So I did just want to show you guys that is available today from Dante, and so you can grab that Dante controller and play around with it if you are using our devices or any other Dante devices. And so now let's talk a little bit of how Dante works with MXnet. And we have already a little bit, but we're going to kind of touch on that question of how Dante and AV over IP run through the same networking switch. With AVPro Edge's network switches, the MXnet switches, the network switches, which is a great option you can definitely use. That has a way that you can get into if you have a control box using AV over IP, you can use that control box. You can set up VLANs very simply and easily, select them to be set up for Dante, and that's all built into the MXnet controller. But not everybody is going to be using MXnet switches, and that's okay. Our products work with any kind of network switch that at least meets the minimum requirements for our products, which are found on our knowledge base. But most networking, engineers, they already know those minimum requirements. They know and trust what Cisco or Netgear or Arachnus switches they like to use, and there are all types of network switches that do work for AV over IP and for Dante products like we're showing here, just like this MXnet system. This is a Dante, this is a diagram that came directly from one of our customers on how they are using Dante inside their MXnet system. And this is how they set up their switch. And it's working great this way. They are networking specialists, and they already knew exactly what to set up. And they showed us this is how they set theirs up, and it's working great for them. So we'd love to just share, this is one way that you can set up an MXnet system, but no, it is standard networking topology. So if you're not a specialist in network switches, hey, no problem. Buy our switches. We have them all pre-configured for you. But if you are, we can work with your products as well, whatever switches you like to use. So now we can see we have our MXnet Dante encoder. We have control box. We have our decoder. We actually had more than one encoder. We had a few Dante encoders and a few other encoders that didn't need to have the Dante audio removed. But what we do is we plug this Dante encoder into the network switch under the VLAN 1, which is our MXnet ports. And then our ports 13 through 20 are going to be set up just for Dante. So connected to that same device, we come out a wire into our next VLAN, which is set up for Dante. And in this switch, of course, our AVPro Edge's MXnet switches have a specific port for the control box, and it doesn't need to be on a separate VLAN. But the way that this integrator set it up is they do have it on the same VLAN, and they keep all their control on the same VLAN, and that was no problem. So we can now have our control box connected here, so we can control this, but we have our actual network controlling going. Being able to get commands sent to it via this third VLAN. And so now I can decode any of the out of any of the ports here, go onto the displays, watch the audio video signal, and then out of the Dante decoder coming out of these ports, I can go straight into an amplifier or straight into a Dante speaker system that would then play just the audio. And we could have the specific audio sources on the network that were Dante, or we could take away any of the audio video sources, de-embed that audio off of that source, and listen to that throughout any of the decoding areas. Just one way that you can set up your switch, knowing that this is all of these products still use that standard Ethernet topology. So if you are an expert, you know exactly how it's going to work. And if you're not an expert, no problem. We have all of the diagrams and the tools available for you to install these with no experience and be able to get on site and still get your customer happy. This was a corporate application that we saw that was really cool. I love to see it. It was between two buildings. They had an MXnet system already installed, and they just had a bunch of rooms that had speakers already attached, and they needed to send a Dante signal to it. Some of the rooms didn't have TVs in them at all, so they didn't need to send video to those rooms at all. So they were able to add these Dante units as our kind of test run, and it's working great in this install. So we have two buildings. This is at a university. In building one, there's a secure rack system. Building two, there's a secure rack system. In each one of those racks, there's a bunch of different things, but among those things are our network switches. And our network switches are actually connected because they have great fiber connections going between buildings that they're able to connect these two switches. And with this connection going through the 10 gig ports, we're able to send tons of data back and forth. And even though these two network switches are in different buildings, they're on the same network. So I only need one control box. I have all my Dante encoders some of my Dante encoders connected to this one, some of my Dante encoders connected to this box. But between this entire system and any of the offices, the zones with no video or the zones with video and audio, you're able to see and hear any of the connected devices. And then in the devices are the office zones that do not have video, you're able to hear that audio from any of the connected sources. It's a really cool way to set up a big system and know that we're showing this together with one zone here and one zone here. But both of these buildings had about 13 different zones in each one of these. Now is being able handled through the same network, being able to send device audio and video from one device in one building all the way to the other, de-embed that audio off for the rooms without audio or without video. It's a really cool system. Okay, and then of course we have a 10-year warranty. That's no secret for all of you that know us. And so now I'm going to go through our different questions, and then we'll just take a quick look at the website after we catch up with some questions. So if you do have any questions that you've been holding on to, this is a great time to put them into that GoToWebinar control panel. All right. One question is, will later products be PoE? Yes, definitely that we will be introducing power over Ethernet for these devices as well, so you will not have to power them. But for the time being, everybody knows how hard it was to get Dante products for a long time. So we got these out here. They're going to be available. You do just have to find power for these units. Is there a USB version available? In other words, can I connect a phone to a broadcast audio, such as a music streaming? Well, not directly. You can't just connect a phone to one of these units. But if you had something in between, there's tons of different products that can do that, like AVRs or any sort of little standalone music devices or audio streamers. You can take any sort of these audio streaming devices that would then connect directly to your phone. You can play Tidal, Spotify, whatever, just as long as it outputs that 2-channel system right out of there. Then you can put that onto the Dante network and then play it around your installation. So great question, Phil. What you want to do is, yes, you can use USB devices. You just have to have the device in between. What these simple units do is they don't amplify, they don't connect to the to Wi-Fi or anything like that to try to program them. They simply are converters that take in an audio signal and convert it to a Dante signal. So whatever you do on the other side of that is pretty endless. Let's see, another question we have here. Ron asked, does Dante sync all audio devices, or must one deal with delays? No, it actually does sync all audio devices, Ron, and it is one of the biggest selling points of Dante, and how Dante is now being implemented in tons of live venues. I was recently at Target Field in Minneapolis, which has their entire stadium set up with Dante, so they can have a remote act, like a concert, come in. That concert can bring their racks in, plug into their Dante network, and through the Dante controller view where's the target field's PA system, where's the PA system that I'm bringing in, and everything will be synced together, because this networking capability and this encoding is happening like this. Think of how short we have gotten AV over IP, this audio video signal that's extremely taxing, and we can have almost, less than 10 milliseconds of latency over a 10 gig system. The reason that it takes so much time is we have to take that 18 gig signal, crush it down to 10, put it through, and still we almost get it there, with less than 20 milliseconds. Now for Dante, you remove the video portion of that. So now we have just the audio signal, which is much less taxing on a network. And so once it hits that network, it happens like that you're able to get this same connection throughout all the connected devices, even if these are connected to your, 100 meters away from the network switch. Great question. All right, any plans for a Dante in by 8, 16, or whatever channel analog audio matrix switch? If not, is there one that you would recommend? This is from Sammy. I don't have our entire roadmap laid out for this. This may be on the roadmap, but I can't tell you that for sure. And unfortunately, I'm not knowledgeable enough to know which one would be the best. But Sammy, I know you, so I will definitely follow up with you, and we'll see if we can, ask some of the different people that are around the office what they would recommend for the best. All right. Will the AC MXnet 1G Dante E encoders work with the V2 decoders? No, they will not. This is an Evolution 1 encoder. So as you know, the Evolution 1, or the regular 1G encoders and decoders do not talk or do not convert correctly with the Evolution 2 decoders, which give you that beautiful, 4K 60 444 picture that looks really nice. So this would be a 1G unit that is on that standard 1G ecosystem. Know that if this is a solid product, we have a lot of want for this. We will be expanding that line to see if there would be Evolution 2 decoders that are encoders that we would have to that we can create. But I can tell you, if you're using that Evolution 1 excuse me, you want to use Evolution 2 encoders and decoders on MXnet, it's not like you're stuck, right? Because we have this standalone encoder and decoder now. So, and they're not a large cost. So get with, your local salesperson, distributor, or rep, and they can help you with pricing. But these aren't very expensive products. So you can just take, for every single encoder that you need to buy an EV2 encoder, and that to work with your EV2 decoders, you can buy an AC Dante encoder, place it right next to it, and there's a de-embedded audio port on each one of those encoders that you can connect right into that Dante encoder, connect that to the same network switch through using the VLAN process, and you'll get exactly what you're looking for there, Sean. All right. Jim asked, when you take that on the MXnet version, does the audio remain on the HDMI channel? Yes, it does de-embed the audio, so we have it, but it duplicates it. So you're still getting the same audio video signals through the HDMI, through the AV over IP system, but it just de-embeds that audio, takes that audio off, and repeats it. So it goes both through the AV signal and through the Dante signal. Great question, though, Jim. And how about latency between Dante and video? Well, the best part is that Dante is usually getting there before the video. Video is a little bit more taxing, so great question, Eddie. But what's really nice about the Dante controller is that's not a problem, because you're able to manipulate that through the Dante controller to ensure that your audio and video is meeting it at the same time if you need to add some delay to that audio. Okay, guys, it looks like that is all the questions that I have. So I just wanted to now let you know that our websites are up. You have resources available. If you wanted to check out those applications, the descriptions, get a manual or the quick start guide. they are available for these products. So you can find them at products, audio tools. Here's our encoder and decoder under Dante. And then for AV over IP under our 1 gig, you can find your Dante right here. So we have all 3 of the websites are up and for your use. And then know that you can just type in Google Dante controller, and then you can download that Dante controller system, and then you'll be able to view any of these Dante signals, changing them from this channel goes to this decoder, this encoder goes to this decoder. You can mix and match as much as you'd like. All right. I'm just going to see if any other last minute questions came in here. I have Aaron asking, are there a list of dealer prices available? Aaron, yes, definitely. This is a evergreen training, so we don't talk about prices on this actual training because someone could watch this in 4 years and still be using this products. So I do want to, and the price could change over that amount of time. But your RSM, your rep, your distributor, they already have pricing on the latest price list. If they don't, they can reach out to their RSM and get it for you today. But yes, and Aaron, if you don't know who your distributor is or your rep or whoever, you can just email me, tom@avproglobal.com. I'll get your information and I'll make sure to connect you to who you need to be talking to. And the availability, but that's a great question, Ben. They're available right now, full stock. You guys can order and we will ship. It looks like it's it's 2:30 p.m. here. So if you are trying to get them to ship today, you might actually still be able to because it's still 2:30, but our cutoff's getting here pretty soon. But yes, they're available. If you get your order in, we can ship them right away. And the reason that we have them right away is because we have been testing the smack out of these guys. And so we wanted to make sure that they are working properly, they're working how you want. So yeah, we got them in, we got them through the QA process, and we used a really long QA process to make sure that these Dante units are going to meet that 10-year warranty that we offer for all our products, which they did stand and available now. I want to thank everybody for joining in today's training. I really do appreciate it. We at AVPro will continue to put out products that you guys are asking for. The feedback that I get from you, we do put directly into our products. If you do have any good product ideas or things that you would like to see, features, you can always send them to us, info@avproedge.com. I get those emails along with a lot of other people that will get eyes on it right away. So I want to thank you for tuning in, staying this entire training, asking these great questions. I really hope you enjoy installing and selling these Dante products, and we'll see you on the next training. Thank you, everyone.